Hello everyone, this is Prodigious TCC, that's Prodigious Trading Card Collector, and today we're going to be looking at one of my Pauper decks. Won a couple times against my brother with this deck. I haven't updated it in a long time, so I'm sure there's some updates you can make to it, but it's one of my favorites. There's this one and another one I'll be making later on, next week maybe, that are like my two favorites at the moment, of just ones I've built. I do proxy a lot of decks. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know proxying is the way I like to go these days, but this is one I actually have built. There are 4 that I have actually built. 2 of them I really enjoy playing. Yeah, so let's get a look at this. This is my mono white heroic deck, as I call it, or as the internet calls it, I guess. So we're gonna start off. Let's do planes first. This video is sponsored by boosterhouse.ca. Go to boosterhouse.ca and use promo code PROD10 to get 10% off your order. They've got Legions, Realms at War, sealed and singled, Magic the Gathering, sealed and singled. So if you want to try and make a Pauper deck, it's a good place to start. And they've got Pokemon sealed and singled products. So if you want to get any of that kind of stuff, use promo code PROD10 to get 10% off your order. If you want to get Guardians Creed, the new Legions, Realms at War set, the promo code does not work on the set because it is in pre-release and all that kind of stuff. Later down the line, we will have the code will be updated to work with that, but as of the moment, it will not, unfortunately. But if you want to get any of those other things, if you want to get some Magic, some Legions, or some Pokemon, use promo code PROD10 to get 10% off. I've worked with Booster House for a while now. I've gotten some product from them. I've won some in giveaways and whatnot. Always comes fast, always comes well shipped, and you know, just very nice. And it's always nice to support a small business, and that's exactly what you're doing if you use the code PROD10. It also helps support the channel, so if you do use the promo code, I do get a little bit of assistance from that, and it goes back to fixing up a computer or something to make the channel work a little bit better. Anyways, boosterhouse.ca, PROD10, 10% off your order for any of those anything there you would like, except for Guardians Creed. Get that out of the way. So we've got 2 Seclude Step. Comes into the battlefield tapped, and tap it to add a planes to your mana pool, and you can cycle it to discard this card and draw a card. So cool. Got 2 of those, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 just straight up regular basic planes. So get those out of the way. Now let's look at the juicy bits. So this whole thing, this whole deck, the mono white heroic, is just going to be enchantments, buffing up your character, your creatures to nobody's business and swinging in. So we've got some different creatures that do different things. So this one is my Skyguard, my Akron Skyguard. It is flying and has heroic, which means whenever you cast a spell that targets Akron Skyguard, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So got 4 of those, and the whole point is casting enchantments that target these creatures. So every time you put an enchantment on it, it gains 1, and it has flying, which is nice to get past everything. So that's one of our targets for all the enchantments that we're going to go on through later. I've got 4 of those. I also have 4 of these 1/1 Deathblade Elites. Has provoke, so when this attacks, you may have target creature defending player controls untap and block it if you're able. If it is able. So it's a good way to specifically choose what you want to destroy if there's something you want. And then it has a tap 1 and a white, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by Deathblade Elite this turn. We've got 4 of those guys, so another option for all the enchantments. Then we've got Laguna Band Trailblazer. It is a 0/4 heroic. Whenever you cast the spell that targets this card, put a +1/+1 counter on the card. So it's kind of the same as the Akron Skyguard, except this starts with 4 defense, so it has more possibility to do things. This has flying, so they all have different things that they want and are able to do. And then so we got 4 of them, and then lastly is Sacred Cat, which is got a lifelink on it. It's 1/1, and Embalm for 1. Exile this card from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a white zombie cat with no mana cost. Embalm only as a sorcery. So another way to get the lifelink back and all that kind of stuff. But so I have flying, I've got lifelink, I've got flying, I've got provoke, and I just got a 0/4 heroic, and these 2 have heroic. So the whole point or plan is to kind of assess what your opponent is doing, what seems the best option, and then kind of choose your warrior, if you will, to put all these enchantments on and kind of just buff the crap out of them. So we've got a Sentinel's Eye, costs 1, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. And it has escape, exile 2 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard if it's for its escape cost. So boom, get it back from the graveyard if need be. But vigilance and +1/+1. Got 4 of those. So they can go on any of these guys, and if it goes on the 2 heroics, you get the +1/+1, and then the +1/+1 from the heroic ability attribute, I guess you'd say. So very nice. We've also got the Cartouche of Solidarity. I can read. It is a known fact. Enchant creature you control. When Cartouche of Solidarity enters the battlefield, create a +1 or a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance, and enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has first strike. So boom, another +1/+1. So any of the heroics, they get another +1/+1 because it's targeting him, and then it has first strike. So very great for the lifelink and all that kind of stuff. So I've got 4 of them, but all we really want to do in the deck is get a creature out and then just start attaching as many enchantments as possible. I don't know how this sits in the meta, probably not very, because I created this a long time ago, but it was very cheap and I wanted to play Pauper with my brother, and that's exactly what this deck is. So then we've got Hyena Umbra, enchant creature, gets +1/+1 and has first strike. So same as the Cartouche of Solidarity, except it doesn't create the 1/1 token with vigilance. We've got 4 of those because we just like to enchant our creatures. And then we've got Karametra's Blessing, which is an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. If it's an enchanted creature or an enchantment creature, it also gets hexproof and indestructible until the end of the turn. But boom, get +2/+2 for the end of the turn. But then it gets either the heroics gets +1/+1 that stacks and stays because it was chosen or targeted by this. And then we've got Ethereal Armor, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for the end for each enchantment you control and has first strike. So boom, this guy, you got a big old stack of enchantments on any of your guys already. You're gonna get +1/+1 for each of them, and then if it's on a heroic, it gets +1/+1 anyways because you're using this on it, and it has first strike. So this is good for later game when you already have a bunch of enchantments, so you can pump it up to like 17/17 or whatever it's gonna end up being. And then we just have 1 lifelink, which is enchanted creature has lifelink. So I only have 1 of those in here. I mean, the cat already has lifelink, so you can throw this on another creature. It's an enchantment, gains +1/+1 on any of the heroics, which is pretty nice. And then we've got 2 Benevolent Blessings. Enchantment Aura Flash, enchant creature as Benevolent Blessing enters the battlefield, choose a color. Enchanted creature has protection from that chosen color. This effect does not remove auras and equipment you control that are already attached to it. So if you're playing a mono color or whatever, or against a mono color, whatever, these are really sweet, but they also count as enchantments. So for the heroics, they do bump up +1/+1 for having these guys on them as well. So that's pretty nice. And then we've got 4, so those 2 of those, and we have 4 of these Emerge Unscathed, which is an instant. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until the end of the turn. So you throw this down if you're getting, I don't know, Chain Lightning, Lightning Bolt, something like that. Protection from red. And then, oh, if it's on a heroic, that heroic now gets +1/+1. So it's all about basically just bumping up your chosen creature, be it Laguna, Band Trailblazer, Sacred Cat, Akron Skyguard, or Deft Blade Elite. Basically choosing whatever one fits your fancy, or several if you want to swing several times, and then just loading them up with all these enchantments that I've got here, and making them big, swinging in hard. That's kind of the vibe of this one. The other deck I have that I will be going over next week is very different, but this is a pretty simple, throw it on a character, throw a bunch of stuff on it, and swing. Big smash is kind of the vibe of this one, and I really enjoy it. It's really fun to play, but it is, I'm assuming, probably outdated, but I may update it if I can find suitable cards to swap out and all that kind of stuff. But you know, let me know what you think about you know, this Pauper deck, Pauper in general, what decks you kind of like to play for Magic. Let me know. I will be hoping to, if I can get the video edited, hopefully next week. I will have a Pauper match up next week. Just having some technical difficulties that I'm trying to work through. But yeah, let me know what you think about Magic, and until I see you next time, have a fantastic day.